South Florida. Write Your Narrative podcast is your street art soundtrack. This is where the culture speaks. Welcome to the podcast.
So, hi everyone, and welcome back to the podcast, season 4 right now. And my guest today, a little question first. What happens when an artist becomes a curator? My guest today knows the answer. Today on Write Your Narrative, we are joined by Jill Weisberg. Jill is an artist, a curator, and a community builder. She wears so many hats. From shimmering, feminist-inspired work to curating the downtown Hollywood mural project, Jill has helped transform the walls into living stories across South Florida. Not just Hollywood, across South Florida, definitely. She recently joined WXL Space as the art director, I should say. So let's dive into your journey as a curator and an artist first. How you doing? Good.
Here, super excited to be here.
Yes. We have so much to discuss. You've been around South Florida. You were born and raised in Hollywood. So
Correct.
Definitely as a Florida resident girl.
The rare native Floridians.
I know.
Yeah, I know. It's like I'm a unicorn of some kind.
Pretty much.
Many of us here.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So you've seen the art scene from the very, very, very beginning.
Yeah.
And you've seen it growing, transforming, transporting the artist into different places, being displaced, being moved, and growing. And then as an art curator and as an artist, what was your very first project that you did? You say, okay, now from an artist, I became a curator. I can call myself a curator.
So I guess that would be around 2012 in downtown Hollywood. So we'd already started doing some murals down there. So I was working with the Community Redevelopment Agency of Hollywood, which is under the umbrella of City of Hollywood. And so we'd done. It was hard to start their mural project because there was a whole paradigm shift that needed to happen with the business and property owners, going and asking them if they wanted murals. So we had a couple under our belt. And then I was able to talk to a property owner that had a very interesting building that had sort of a round facade. And we commissioned Dos Alice, which is Filio and...
At the time, yes.
Yeah, Filio and
Andrew.
And so they did this beautiful mural on this rounded building. And their work is basically they take photos and kind of make a graphic black and white translation of them. So they did the Mona Lisa, and it transformed this building so much that you would come around the corner and you would see it from the car, and it would just kind of be mind-blowing if you'd never been there or if you hadn't been there in a while. And so that was really the first mural where I saw...
I didn't realize this was the first one, yes. I remember this whole...
First mural in downtown Hollywood. It's the first one where I felt it really made such an impact that I really felt more like a mural curator rather than maybe just a facilitator, for example. Because I really assisted in putting that artist on that wall, on that building, and working with them to make the concept and everything. And so I really feel like that is the first mural, and I'm so grateful to both Filio and Andrew for taking that project on. And then in 2020, during the pandemic, it was faded and we had it restored with Filio painted. Andrew was unavailable, and we had some other fine artists that
well, he became a dad since he's got
he's in Puerto Rico doing his thing there.
Okay.
So but Filio, who is one of the originals, helped repaint it. And I mean, it's just so beautiful. And I'm glad that the property owner wanted to actually restore that mural.
So they restored it to the original Mona Lisa?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Looks like if you hadn't been there in 5 years, you might not notice that it was restored, because it was faded a little bit, but it wasn't so terrible that you were like looking at that mural going, oh, that needs to go. It was just some of the blacks were faded, especially at night. You couldn't even really tell the difference.
Okay.
But now during the day, you can see the blacks are way more solid on it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it looks great.
The sun and the elements here in Florida are not
Oh, you got some
Yes, we got some.
just a
Yes.
little. It is a challenge for sure.
How's the balance working and showcasing international artists and the local artists? You are working with both. We are, I mean, very, very fortunate here in Wynwood to see so many people coming from all around the world. So you are obviously taking advantage of this in some of your projects?
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I did take advantage of, specifically in the Downtown Hollywood mural project, is just being looped into who's coming, internationally.
Yes.
And so that we don't. I mean, that budget was done. I mean, that project was done on such a strict, small budget that we really couldn't afford. It wasn't like a corporate thing where like you can fly somebody in and put them up at a hotel, unless the property owner wanted it. But I don't know if you've ever worked with property owners. They're very budget conscious.
Oh my gosh, yes, they are.
So I would take advantage of the fact that there were like tons of these amazing artists coming into town, including people like Kenny Scharf, Roan, the London Police. And I would take advantage of the fact that they were here in, coming to Wynwood to do some projects. And hey, can you tack on a couple extra days? And, we'll put you up in an Airbnb, or, the property owner could definitely afford a couple days in an Airbnb in Hollywood, rather than the whole thing of like getting the airfare and all of that stuff. So we did take quite a good advantage of some of those people coming into town. But typically, I work with local artists, and I love working with local artists because obviously I'm a local, but these people have been here, and it is so amazing to see the change of somebody that maybe I knew in like 2008 who was running from the police because they were doing graffiti, to going and potentially selling sculptures to the museum in Boca, for example.
Ooh, okay.
Or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just amazing to see people that I know that were like legit graffiti artists struggling to make work, to sell work as an artist, to get murals as an artist. And now they're in such high demand, and they're monetizing their history of
extremely talented.
Yes.
Extremely talented.
So we have so much talent down in Miami that
we're so lucky.
Area is ridiculous. And so typically in projects, I do recommend local artists for a lot of reasons. One, because like I just said, we have so much wonderful talent here. And secondarily, like if somebody's on a budget, why not use a local artist? You will not have to pay that hotel. You will not have to pay that airfare. And
you're going to have the quality work that you expect.
Quality is
you're going to have
ridiculous.
What you expect. Absolutely.
Is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And then the artists themselves can have that hometown pride, right? That they created something for their hometown or their hometown area. And so I do utilize the majority of murals that I do are with local artists for that reason.
Yes, I mean, like we said, there's so many talented artists, and we both been around the block. We know we got our agenda full of people that and different aspects of the art. Everybody has a different style. Everybody brings something new, something fresh to the community. They know how to adapt. They know how to bring exactly what the customer, what the person asking for. So that's.
I tell people the best part of my job is actually working with all these artists, right? And it's so interesting to see how they work, because everyone, like you said, everyone works different. Everyone has a different style. Nobody is exactly the same. Everybody gets their mural up on a wall differently. Everybody paints differently. Everybody has a different way of doing things, a different concept behind their art. So there's so many factors that make you different from the next artist, and all of those things are what makes the artist unique, and all of those things are what I find really fascinating, and it's one of the great parts of my job.
So all of these worlds and everything, what was the feedback that you had from the community? Because you work with the community, with the developers and everything, and street art is for everybody on the street. So this is such a beautiful thing to share. But what are some of the most beautiful feedback and some of the awful feedback maybe that you had? Because I'm sure some people are like, what's going on here on the walls. They don't get it. They just don't get it.
So I can tell you an interesting story about an Evoca 1 mural that it was up for a number of years, and the city did not take it down, even though there were some complaints about it. But I'll tell you why in a second. But it had to come down because structurally there's problems with the walls. The buildings in downtown Hollywood. So Hollywood Boulevard in downtown Hollywood is the only historic business district in, I think, the state of Florida, one of the only. They are buildings there from mid-1920s, including Milagros Collective. They did a gorgeous mural on the original 1926 bus garage where they parked the buses.
Okay.
So there are problems with these buildings. So this one had to go, not because the city chose to bring it down, but because like chunks of stucco were falling.
Oh, yeah.
So Evoca did this stunning mural.
It was
beautiful. A woman holding an older, like somebody's grandma holding a bird cage. The bird cage door was open. A white dove is flying out of the bird cage, and there are what appears to be cupids on turkey vultures, and they have their bow and arrow, and you can see that this white dove that's coming out of the bird cage, right, with the open door, the woman's holding this bird cage, has been shot, right? People freaked out because they were like, you can't, I mean, I'm a vegetarian, you can't you can't have people shooting birds, and it's violent and it's upsetting to me, which I can totally understand. And I do the free mural tours in Hollywood. I'm still doing them. The next one is actually Saturday night, October 18th. It's always the third Saturday, 6 p.m. If anybody wants to go on a free mural tour and join me, I do them every month. And so when I used to do the mural tours, I would get some people, I would ask questions, what does everybody think of this mural? And I would have people saying some things like that, oh, it's so violent, or I don't understand why they're killing birds. And what I love about my job is that I got to educate them and tell them that, listen, this is not a photograph even. This is just house paint on a wall, right? So this isn't really a bird being killed. This is just house paint on the wall. Now look at this. Look at this mural. Tell me what you see again. Oh, I see a woman holding a bird cage with the door open, and a dove is being shot by cupids. Okay. Well, do you see that those aren't actually cupids? What they are is Evoca made these demons with masks on to look like cupids. And what are they doing? They are extinguishing somebody's bird, but that could be
it's a metaphor.
Euphemism, a metaphor for your soul. It could be a metaphor for your heart. And what is that saying? That's saying you have to be careful with your heart. You have to be careful with your soul, because there are people everywhere that are wearing masks that aren't being truthful.
Yes.
That you have to be careful with yourself. And you have to know who you're talking to and look for those masks and look for people trying to take advantage and take your soul or take your heart. And once I explained that the whole thing wasn't about violence, it wasn't about killing birds, right? Yeah. It is an allegory. He is storytelling without words. After I said that, everybody's mind changed. Everybody got it, and everybody thought, wow, the comments were, wow, that is a really powerful mural. That is a really powerful statement. And if you look at Evoca's murals, typically, they're very serious. He deals in very, very serious, painterly, beautiful murals. And so that was one of the typical kind of like pushback on a mural that I had to kind of explain. It needed a little bit of explaining. Sometimes art needs a little bit.
They were just focusing on that bird, on the dove getting killed, without understanding the story, the concept, without knowing the concept.
Yeah, we can't.
Without being open,
Surface level. A lot of art is about concept, even though you'll see even historical Renaissance paintings, there's always story.
There's always a story. There's so many layers, so many background, foreground, and things that you have to take in consideration if you want to appreciate a painting a little more than just a flat image. It's not just a flat image.
It kind of makes you use your brain, which,
the right side of the brain or the left side of the brain, and just like, okay.
But I feel like when there's a little bit of a concept, even with the Mona Lisa mural, right?
Yes.
Like somebody might look at it and not understand it for a second, and then look at it and see that it is actually the Mona Lisa, and they have that aha moment and their brain switches, and then it's like something that they have like a secret now. Like, especially once you understand it, and if people aren't getting it, but you understand it, it's like you have this little secret with you in the work, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. But as to your other question, when I do tours or when I'm walking around or there's somebody painting, I always get people from the actual community that live in downtown Hollywood, and they thank me or thank the artist for doing these things because it improves the community.
Oh,
They're
it
walking
does
around
tremendously.
their dog and they get to see new pieces of art and it makes them really happy and they invite friends and they come on the mural tour. So it's a way to kind of connect with community of downtown Hollywood also. And a lot of just the locals that come when I do the mural tour.
It is a great way to get the community together, definitely.
Absolutely.
And then go outside.
Yeah.
Go outdoor. Just go outdoor, just walk around, and then there's restaurants and everything. It's just nice, I think, just to look around to see something different than gray wall or some advertising. It's just like, okay, all right.
I mean, it's much better than just seeing a plain wall. But as I've said to many people before, not every building needs a mural.
No.
A lot of them do, but not.
A lot of them do.
Not every building needs a mural, but most do. If you got a big empty wall and it's public facing, why not,
Now, another big project that you've been working on is right here in Wynwood.
Yeah.
So tell us about that new project, that new kind of an open air museum, kind of a all curated that you did in that building. It's quite something here in the Wynwood.
Yeah. So I was lucky enough to be working with a company called Wall Space, and they're out of Brooklyn, but they do stuff nationally. It's Jordan Jiha is the CEO, and he brought me on to help out with some projects nationally. And then this project came about. Some of it was already curated. So the Mr. June mural, the Dosick mural, and the Nico mural, Jay's podium wrap were already kind of curated, but they tapped me for the what they're calling the Cali Collective, which means the street collective. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's an open air paseo with an atrium, and it basically leads you to glass doors to the lobby, but it's where their retail is. And so this open air hallway had spots for 15 murals, and when I discussed it with Fisher Brothers and the development manager there, we decided that we should go with, I was like, we should really go for local because
of course.
For you guys, economically, it will just be a lot easier.
It would make sense.
But for this area, you do not understand what it will do for this area. So I kind of explained to them a little bit about how Wynwood, typically developers have been coming in, and not all developers, but the majority of developers are putting like a beautiful international mural on there. And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
No.
But what it does do is it kind of makes the locals here, and remember, we have just an amazing amount of local talent here. So it makes the locals kind of wonder, why aren't you putting us up? We're here. And so that's kind of what I recommended. And so we have 15 really heavy hitters, OGs, that most of them have lived here for a very long. Some of them are new transplants, but have been working down here for a while, like BK Fox. She hasn't been living in Miami forever, but she's been coming down for years and doing work down here.
She has.
And her work, every time I show that mural to anybody in photos, but especially in person, when I just gave a tour before the art walk this weekend down here to some local friends, and their mind was blown. I mean, they loved all the murals, but BK Fox specifically, there's just something about the fact that her work is photorealistic. And whenever I show people photorealistic work, I did a piece in Brooklyn. I assisted in art direction, and it's just it's breathtaking. It does something to your brain.
Really is.
That there's a paradigm shift where you're like, that is paint? ? That is paint. Period. And then so your brain has to kind of figure that out. Like, wow, okay, so some human made this, but it looks like a so your brain is doing this thing where it's like, is it? But no, it's not. Okay. So it kind of blows your brain open a little bit, and you're very, very impressed by that. Even somebody like me, when I see photorealistic stuff, and I mean, I look at murals all the time, and it's just mind-blowing to me. So we have BK Fox right there, and that's on the east side. There's a couple, there's east side, south side, and west side. And so on the east side over there, we have that stunning mural by BK Fox. We have a gorgeous mural by Danny Fila that is a woman, because there's some murals that are on the ceiling. So there's a ceiling mural that kind of drops down. and he made really great use of the space. He has a woman diving in.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
I saw that.
And then we have Dissim on the ceiling, which has his signature pink and turquoise. But he added a flamingo, but he did it in a way where it's not usual to see a flamingo flying above your head. So when you look up, you see the flamingo and it's flying over your head. And so that's unusual.
Okay.
You don't normally see flamingos like that.
True.
In murals. You see lots of
murals. Oh, yes.
With flamingos, but not really any of them where they're flying above your head. So that's really sweet. And then once you enter into the atrium section, we have Chink Fondue. We have a gorgeous mural by Tati Suarez where she's incorporated the monstera, a lot like a planter box full of monsteras into her mural. And it is just stunning. I've known her forever and she always creates breathtaking murals. But this one in particular, I think she really took advantage of the location that I gave her with the monsteras, and it almost looks like the monsteras are flowing into the mural quite naturally. And then we have on the west side, we have Quake, we have Abstract, we have a stunner by Jairo Viega. And
gosh.
Like, that's another one who it just is like mind-blowing how a human creates these murals. His is also very, very not only photorealistic, I'm going to call it hyper-realistic, because his portraits have a quality where it's a shine on them. Hard to explain. You kind of have to see it, but it is.
You really have to see his work. It's absolutely incredible. I'm dying to have him on the podcast. He promised me to be on the podcast.
You'll get him eventually.
Oh, yes.
Just keep trying.
Oh, yeah.
He's such a
It's all about the time. It's all about timing.
That's the other thing that blows my mind. Both BK and Jairo are just so nice. Again, it goes back to these people with this massive amount of talent.
But the whole art scene, the whole everybody here around here is just so nice and so willing to share their stories and everything. I mean, I had so many people on the podcast, and then years ago on the magazine on Talking of the World. It's just like we have a beautiful community. People are so nice. And so talented.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't, like, just because somebody's super talented doesn't mean they're going to be a jerk. But
no,
it is, and I have to say this because I have been in the fine art community for so long, and I can tell you that people in the street art, graffiti, mural community are a lot more chill than people in just exclusive gallery, like fine artists.
Oh, chill.
It's such a different, and I'm not exactly sure why it is, but I appreciate it.
Oh, yes.
It's one of the reasons that I love working in public art is because for the majority of the time, the muralists are super chill. Like you said, they're just super chill. So it's great to work with them. And then, I'll go in the rest in the Paseo at Jewel House. We have Hawks, Rage Johnson, Ruben Ibarra, Golden, Grabster, Jose Felix Perez, and Nate D. And then in the drive where you would get dropped off by an Uber to go to the lobby on the other side, we have this wonderful, wonderful giant mural by A-Hole Sniffs Glue.
Oh my
which
gosh.
We got him. Okay, so this is cute. They didn't want his typical eyeball mural.
Yeah.
So I sent the owner of Fisher Brothers and the property development manager a bunch of his canvases, and they chose one of his canvases that they
okay.
They were like, can he make a mural of this? And A-Hole's like, well, I never have done a mural like that.
I know, it's very different work. It's very different.
I'm so excited because it came out so awesome.
It did come out really
utilizing his characters. I'm not sure if you're familiar with his Biscayne World characters when he used to ride the bus and draw all these characters. So he's utilizing some of those characters, which they don't get a lot of real estate in his murals.
No, they don't.
And so I'm delighted that we got to kind of get A-Hole to do something that was a little bit different and kind of outside of his normal wheelhouse.
Yes.
It kind of pushed him to do, I mean, he wasn't like upset about it or anything. He was kind of stoked about it, but it didn't kind of occur to him. You know, it took somebody like me working with him to kind of get him
just a different directions in his work.
Like, hey, why don't you try? Just one person saying, hey, why don't you try it like this? You know, and to get him to kind of go outside of his comfort zone, maybe, or just whatever how his norm is, and do something that is so awesome. It's so great. If you guys go to Jewel House, you have to go over to the driveway and check out.
Yes,
it's like kind of where the Uber would drop someone.
And anyway, you recognize his work. Once you know his work, it's just you cannot miss it.
Yeah.
You cannot miss it. But the line work is so much thinner than usually those big droopy eyeballs that he's doing. It's just so different. It's almost fine art.
It is. It's a very kind of elegant contemporary.
Yes.
version of what he does, and he used paint markers and spray paint. So he has a lot of this delicate line work, many different colors, and he even used some metallic in there because there's some touches in that area of metallic copper, and he created it.
So this was based on one of his paintings?
Yeah, one of his canvas.
Oh,
really
interesting.
cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I mean, and that project, I'm still curating that project. We're working on, the general public won't be able to see it. It's for the residents. So it's the elevator lobbies when they get to their floor, you open up. And so there's 6 of those murals that are they're going to probably be painted later this month.
All right. So big project.
Mm-hmm.
And also a couple of weeks ago, a month ago or so, I met you. After so many years, we reconnected at Miramar at the center, whatever they call it.
So it's Miramar Cultural Center, yes.
Cultural Center, yes.
And I've been working with them since 2020. They have a really great cultural center. It's gorgeous. And there's a garden so there's like a little event area with a garden and plants. And it overlooks a lake. It's very peaceful. And so they have 4 little areas. They're almost like archways or doorways, and it's called Windows on the World. And every year they do a different muralist, same kind of concept to kind of call out people because I don't know if you're aware, but Miramar is a very, very diverse community. Lots of Caribbean people, lots of Latin American people, lots of Black people. And so they have 4 different spots. One's for environment. Every year they change them up, but every year they're portraits. So one portrait of an environmentalist, one person from Black history, one person from Caribbean history, one person from Latin American history. So there's 4 different portraits. And this year they actually did an AR interaction where if you scan a barcode right there, it will take you to, it's also posted on their Instagram so you can see the change, and the actual person speaks. And one of them is for Black history is Muhammad Ali. And so not only do you get this beautiful mural by Catano did all 4 of them, but you hear Muhammad Ali speak, and you see him like doing his fists, and like there's little insects because there's butterflies like a fly around because, Muhammad Ali is very famous for saying float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yes.
But this is the first time that I've ever done anything with AR interactions, and it's really, really cool.
Good.
Yeah, it's super cool. Catano did just a stunning job.
Yes.
And he's also working on 2 murals right now for Pembroke Pines, one with Ernesto Moranje that they just finished up, and another one at a park for Pembroke Pines. So I work with a lot of cities in Broward County.
Which is exactly what we talked about, is as a curator in every community where you go to, wherever you bring some artists or wherever they called you to bring some art, you have to, as a curator, bring and understand the community where those artists are going to be painting. So this is a very specific side of the job as a curator, to bring this, because those murals are done for the community.
That's right.
Once the artist is done painting it, they're going to be staying for a year or 2 or 3, and then eventually repainted. But then this is something for the community. So each little pockets and wherever you go in South Florida and throughout the country, I'm sure you have to bring something. You have to understand, kind of do some little work to understand where the mural is going to be. So how difficult it is sometimes to understand those.
Well, because it was quite difficult in the beginning, right?
I'm sure.
Like, so for example, when that Evoca 1 mural went up, we didn't have any idea that it would be kind of upsetting to people. So it's one of those things where I've learned that not necessarily gallery art. Gallery art, I feel like if you're, making something that can be very, very, it doesn't have to be super happy. But I'm also teaching mural design at FAU to graphic design students.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
not a hat.
Yeah, I have a lot of hats. And so one of the things, like sometimes they'll put up, and they're doing mural renderings for hypothetical murals for communities. And sometimes some of the mural renderings are a little bit of a bummer, right?
Yeah.
And there's a time and place for that specifically.
Oh, absolutely.
However, for the main point, like if you're working with a city, so some of these are for like hypotheticals for a city, I try to tell them, I'm like, you're not trying to bum people out, right? Like,
no,
you're going to keep it family friendly. and you're trying to kind of keep it in a positive light. And so those are the things that over time you kind of have to learn. If you're working with a city where something is going to be public facing to the community,
Exactly.
you want to be very cognizant that it is accessible by the whole community, right?
Yes.
And that it's not going to, do something that upsets the community, where then my client, the city, gets a lot of emails, phone calls asking them to remove that mural. Or worse, it gets into an article in the Miami Herald about some sort of controversy. The cities aren't looking for that, right? And
No, they're not.
There's a time and place for controversial. There's a time and place for feeling your feelings on a canvas. And I do not tell people not to do that. But when you're doing public art that is community facing, public facing, it's going to get a lot of feedback.
It is called public art for a reason.
Correct. Try not to bum people out. That's all I got to say is try to keep it family friendly and don't bum people out.
Yeah. Try to bring a little smile into
exactly
who's going to be walking by or driving by.
Yeah, exactly. And to bring it back to one of our favorite street artist duos, the London Police, their whole vibe is making people happy.
It is.
Filled with smiley guys.
It is.
They got the memo. They understand, and they're good at kind of putting things like Chaz puts numbers and letters in that mean stuff to him, and that's the way that he can customize it himself so that he has stuff, but it still doesn't affect the family friendliness, right?
They put those little Easter egg right and left. The people that we know, they let the people sign. They include friends, family, and just the whole thing. It's just like
yeah. All while keeping it really accessible to everyone.
Absolutely.
And actually, not even just accessible, even more than accessible, because it really pushes that joy button in your head.
It does.
How can you look at a wall full of smiley guys, like really cute smiley guys, and not be happy,
Yes. And in the meantime, their work is so intricate. I mean, there's so many layers, so many things to look at. Because some of the characters can be big, but they tend to be kind of rather small usually.
Yeah.
It's a whole, they can put a whole city in one wall.
Well, that's the dream team right there. So you have Chaz and Bob, and Chaz, usually they both can do everything. But
and Chinny Bong.
And Chinny. That's right. We can't forget Chinny.
Oh, yes.
And any assistant or any person that can fill in lines well, they'll just grab and help.
Gosh,
because it's just basically like a coloring book. But I'm not sure if you're aware, but Bob was an architectural illustrator.
Yes.
And I've worked with actually Key Detail that has a mural in downtown Hollywood. He is also an architectural illustrator. So when these people that are architectural illustrators get involved in doing murals and stuff, it's like the amount of detail they can push is insane. The amount of detail that Bob puts into drawings that are going on walls is crazy. Again, mind-blowing, but beautiful. And then
totally mind-blowing when you see them at the wall with all the rulers.
Yeah.
They of course they use spray paints, but they use so many different tools.
Yeah, and ink and acrylic pens.
And everything.
They don't really project. I mean, one of the
They were years ago when they did the very first wall at the Wynwood Win 317 at the time. Oh my gosh, I remember posting a picture of them. I was like, they got really, I mean, the next day, everybody said, whoa, their project. But anyway, once you know.
Most of the time when I've worked with them, they don't project unless they're in a time crunch. And I think they were probably in a time crunch because mostly they look at their sketch and they actually just use blue tape and kind of start out with putting blue tape in key areas and then kind of go for it. I mean, really.
But everybody has a different way of working.
Projecting.
There's absolutely no shame. Absolutely no shame.
I teach, when I'm teaching the mural design course, I teach how to scale up, right? And so then I teach them traditional grid and I teach them doodle grid, and I tell them that they can project. But I also tell them that it's really good to learn these gridding techniques, because if you get a project in a hall, for example, it's a narrow hall, you cannot project.
No.
There's going to be places where it's not convenient to project. So you should learn these other, you can't rely on the projector. Projectors are great, and I never fault an artist for using a projector at all. And some people do. They're like, But listen, they created the rendering, and it's just a means to an end. Projecting to me is just fine, but a lot of people don't project. That I work with, a lot of people are using doodle grid now.
Doodle grid more and more and more. And at first, when I see this about 10 years ago, maybe not even that long ago, those doodle grids happened. I mean, because they use the phone, it's so Incredible too. Almost the doodle grid is a piece of art in itself.
Yeah,
It's almost a piece of art.
Yeah, when Bo Stanton did the mural in downtown Hollywood,
Yes.
again, sadly, is gone now because the stucco started falling off this 1940s building, but they're redoing the stucco, and hopefully we'll be able to get a new mural up there. But I mean, his doodle grid was his little doodles. They were so intricate and beautiful, and it's a doodle grid. It's being painted over. You don't have to, but he wanted to use it as an exercise. So he's like doing seashells and like little boom boxes and like all kinds of really.
I know, it's
great.
really fun.
But he's super fast, so it didn't even matter. But again, the doodle grid is a very handy thing. And then the other thing that I'm seeing now, I saw it twice in Jewel House, one with Lizzie Bromley and once with Jeff Noble from Nice and Easy. They have a pool deck mural at Jewel House that I curated. They're using the Meta Quest headset. So they put their headset on.
Yes.
And you can get your drawing up. And I've been able to put the headset on to see what they're looking at and how to do it. And it is a game changer. Not that
I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube or on Instagram. I've never seen anybody working with it. Really?
It's a game changer. It's a game changer. So that is something that, like, if that is your job and you're constantly doing murals, I would take a look into the Meta Quest headset. I think that's what it's called. To get your drawings up, because it's a game changer, total game changer for sure. Yeah.
Wow, how interesting.
So there's many ways to get your mural on the wall. That's as somebody who's a curator and an educator, that's something that I like to, share, that it's not just one way. And so your comfort level, your level of aptitude really will depend on your method of getting.
Exactly. And it's a fun way to learn. It might be a little more tricky. It might be, an older style, a newer style, like you did that meta thing, as you mentioned. Yes, I've seen some videos. I was like, okay, I don't quite get it. I think I get it, but I haven't seen it.
If somebody put a headset on you and let you look through the headset, the next time if you see a muralist that I would encourage you to say, hey, can I just take a peek real quick? Because
I haven't seen anybody doing it yet.
You will. I
probably this Art Basel in a couple of months. We may see this a little more and more and more.
You're going to see people with the headset. It's going to look weird. You're going to think you're in the future, which you are. And you should definitely see if you can take a little peeky.
Oh, yes. I'm super curious to see that. Well, Jill, thank you so much for this time. I mean, this is incredible what you do, what you've been doing, what you're going to be doing next. By the way, what's your next project here? The Jewel House was one big thing, but then you have maybe, is that a little too soon to mention something?
No, I mean, I'm just working, plugging away.
Yeah.
Nothing too concrete. I'm working on a mural in a restaurant in Del Rey and some other city projects, but nothing.
Del Rey also has a beautiful art scene. Really, really a lot of fun murals, fun things.
Yeah.
It's really, and the little museum they have over there, the Cornell Museum, Del Rey, really nice.
Yeah.
Really, really, really nice. And of course, we have our buddy up there in Del Rey. We have buddy who's up there. What's his name?
What, is he a muralist?
No. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to edit this. Gleason, who's up there in Del Rey.
Oh, okay.
Gleason, who's curating a bunch of things up there in Del Rey. So that's...
okay. I don't know that I know him.
Gleason? You don't know Gleason?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
He's familiar.
He's a curator. He's doing so many good things up there too. Yeah, in Palm Beach. Yes, definitely. Well, I'll do the introductions. So, Jill, thank you so much for your time, for everything that you're doing. Really, for reminding us that public art is more than paint on a wall. It's a story we all share.
Yep.
So if you guys enjoyed that episode, join us again in a couple of weeks with another guest. And who knows who's going to be? Who do you think we should have on the podcast? Who do you think we should have on the podcast?
Well, definitely if you get Jairo on here.
Yes.
Have you had Tati or Quake or Abstract? Abstract would be a great guest too.
Yes.
He's a...
It's in a talk. I'm talking to... Yes, Danielle, Daniel, yes.
BK Fox, like any of the people that are in the Paseo, I would say hit them up.
Yes.
People love...
They know. The mic is open whenever they want to come.
Okay, wonderful. It's just a matter of time, guys.
It's just a matter of time. And anyway, one podcast every other week. I started with one a week. That was kind of a a lot of work. So now since we doing the video, I'm doing a podcast once every other week. So I get plenty, like we say, we have so much talent here, so many talented artists that it's a no-brainer. Who's going to come to the mic? The door is open. The mic is open. So guys, thank you so much again. Jill, thank you for your time one more time. We'll see you all in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now. Thank you.
Bye.